All right, welcome back, and this is the continuation of the two previous parts. If you weren't with us in the first or the second part, the first part we got the project aim from our three senior executive officers. Just going to bring the project aim here. So we got this project aim from our as senior executive officers, where they wanted us to be able to solve this problem in front of you. As you can see, they want number one, business insight. They want us to have a look at where we can detect customers. Let me make it bigger. Depends on what you're using. Number one, they want us to detect customers with unusual high spending. Also detect frequent refund requests from customers. Then thirdly, identify unusual patterns in booking source. So what we did in number one is to have a look at this. The second bit is to inspect the data, which I did. I'm just going to push this one aside, which I did by inspecting the data so we know how large or how small number of columns and everything we need to work with. That's what we did on the first and the second. Now on the third, on this third bit now, what I'm going to do is to try and solve the first project aim. Just going to color that out so we can see. Let me put it red and make this bigger so we all see. Now this is the number one that we need to solve. How do we provide them with an insight that shows what you can see in front of you? Let me make this blue. Yep. How do we achieve the A bit? To achieve the A bit, as you can see, we need to detect customers with unusual high spending. So I'm going to take this bit out. I'm going to push this one aside now so we don't lose focus. I'm going to bring it in front of us shortly. So in achieving the first bit, I am going to use this approach. I'm just going to go to E SQL front screen. I'll come here, then I'm going to put the same what you just saw. Yes. So this is number one I aim to achieve here. Let me make it bigger. This is number one. Just align it. Yes. So number one, what I'm doing is, as you can see, I'm trying, we'll be trying in this part of the video to achieve this. So how can I detect customers with unusual high spending? To achieve this, what I'll be looking at are the two different tables. What is key, what you see in here, what is key here is customers number one. I'm just going to highlight this so you follow me as I go along. Customers details, we can get it only on the customers table. Spending, high spending, we can only get it after we look at the transactions table. These two bits clearly makes us understand that we need to join the two tables together, which is the customers table underneath here and the transactions table. Then we now count the number of times the customer has, made transactions. That will detect the high spending. So coming to the customer table here, as you can see, I am going to join this whole table from A to H. I'm going to join it to the transaction table. That fulfills the first. Going to join it to the transaction table from A to J. That fulfills the first task of joining it together. Then I'm going to count the number of transactions, then group it per customer ID. This is the walkthrough how I'm going to achieve it, but I'm going to make it very simple for you. All we need to do is to, because the senior managers has told us to provide a script to do this, you can have the script and work with this without even knowing anything about Excel or multiple formulas. Now, because this is clearly fraud detection, they should get to the customers that have high spending. I don't think this achieve anything. It's good for maybe marketing segmentation and the rest, but what is fraud in it? What is what is unusual here? What is unusual? So on this bit now where it's unusual, that is where we need to apply fraud thinking here. What is unusual here? So any unusual bits that can come out from here will be something like, so what I'm going to do is to go one step further to see how I can achieve number one of this and number two of this. What do you have in front of you there? What you see here, I'm going to add, after adding the two tables together, getting the total spending, I will now filter these two tables that I've gotten out to get flights above 10, then within 1 year. That is unusual. How can someone be flying, 10 times within just 1 year? Don't get me wrong, it's possible, but what we're trying to achieve is to give them a list where they can work on and start going through the list. This is usual. Okay, this is a business class customer. This is an economy customer. Oh, this is normal. Maybe out of the 10 that we can, and out of the details we can bring out of this insight for this A, some of them might fall as fraud and some might be okay. So that is what we're going to achieve in this bit. And after we achieve this A bit, I am going to finally be able to count the result so the senior managers will know exactly how many customers we have achieved. So stick with me while I achieve number A bit and B. So I'm just going to carry on now to achieve the A bit now. Like I said before, what I'm going to use here is a simple way to achieve it without much formulas, without much stress. How am I going to do it? I'm just going to click on Start, open E SQL. I am going to now remove these bits. That's what we did before. I'm going to use this script. I'm just going to push E SQL to the side here, the interface to the side here. So what do you have here? Once it finishes, I'm going to run this script. Once it finishes, I'm going to explain what it will do. But it's exactly what I was trying to say that it will do. So let me run this bit out.
E SQL operation started.
E SQL is doing its thing at the back of the screen here, and the memory is doing the first thing is joining the two tables together. Then E SQL will count the number of transactions each customer has made. After doing that, it will now look at my criteria, my unusual activity, my fraud modeling that I've applied. If any of these customers within 1 year, 365 days, has made above 10 trips, bring out these customers. Now imagine you have 10 million billions of data. This is where you know the power of running this type of fraud modeling is quite important. ESQL has finished. This is the result in front of you. I'm going to make it bigger in a bit. Let's push it aside, then I'll explain further. So what do we have here? I'm just going to go first to the main screen. All right. So what do we have here? What has ESQL provided us? ESQL has provided us number one, from Colombia, ID, the name of the customer, account created, then total spent, and flight booked. Oh my goodness, can you see how many flights this customer has booked? This customer has booked 522 flights within 1 year. So how did I get that? Look at this script. This script, the beginning, from all these bits just brought out the details, the customer name and the name of the customer ID and the name of the customer. That is B and C. It now went forward to get the mean of account created, which is just the date it was created. That is from let's have a look. The date it was created, that is from table called customer. This is from F, that is this bit here. And it will always be constant, it will always be 1 because they are all they're all unique when it was created. This column here, F, from customer table. And I'll go back. So it now went further. That's that. It now went further to sum the total spent. You see, I tagged the T2. I'll get to that in a bit. So that's table 2, which is the transaction table, because table 1 is the customer table. I'll get to that in a bit below there. So T2 amount, that's the transaction table, is summed the total spent by each customer. Now going further, flight booked, it now counted the number of flights booked by by each customer, really. Then finally, this is where he named it. The customer table is called table 1. Then inner joining the two tables together, joining the transaction table to the customer table on what? You remember I said the two key things. The relationship here is customer ID, which is on customer table. That's what it is here. On the customer ID, T1 customer ID equals T2 customer ID. T2 is this, the transaction table, T2. That is the relationship. Now finally, I just go back to the result. It now provided us with this. Moving forward, this is my condition. I said give me only where this customers from the date of creation has been with us for 365 days, 1 year. I now grouped it here and I ordered, just making it fine for us to see. I ordered by the customer ID. That is why you can see on the customer ID column it is descending. And I went further. This is just the syntax of SQL. Went further to give this anomaly. You can, with this script, you can tweak it any way you prefer, and this is what the senior manager really wants, a script that they can do more and more and more without bothering to know about formula. They just need to come here and tweak from 3 to 5,000, 30,000, whatever they want. And also the flight booked, I've tagged it that it must be above 6. So just so you know, I have brought top 5 only. If I increase this value, if I remove top 5, there will be more data to come in. Clearly I can see that this is quite huge. There are lots of customers here, but we're just going to make it simple and fine and neat here, and document this as it is now so we can move on to the next bit. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to click on comment. I'm going to use the green, and I'm going to document this as what we have said. This is the A bit. I can call it number 1 really. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to come to the green bit here. Let's go out. Come to the green bit here and put it in. So what have I done here? I have only just made a comment here to bring out, to make it clear here that we have done this. What have we done? Where is the script? This is the script underneath it. Where is the result? This is the result. With this result, the company can go in. If they want to tweak the script more, all they need to do, just go and increase the date or reduce the date, and they'll get exactly what they want. That is for number 1. There's A. You remember I said there's B parts. I'm going to count the number of records retrieved by this particular script so they can know what they're dealing with.